You can't just like come in. You can't just come in and be like, that's it. I'm taking it. Greenland is mine. It's mine. It's not even green. They lied. We're going to take it and we're going to turn it into Whiteland. Why do they call it Greenland? There's no green. It's all white. You can't imperialism like that. You have to do a delicate. You have to do a delicate touch. You have to be like, these people desperately want to be saved from the colonial occupation of...
President.
Shocking revelations coming from Donald Trump. Only shocking if you're, only shocking if you're oblivious. Only shocking if you've gotten a healthy dose of liberal propaganda. You're like, what? I can't believe it. How is he saying these things? What do you mean they're never going to join NATO? It's like if you thought that Biden for even a brief moment was entertaining the notion sincerely behind closed doors that what do you call it? They were going to let Ukraine into NATO. You were wrong. Okay. You have been duped, my friends. And I told you this over and over again. And for that reason, everyone kept saying, Hasan, you love Vladipoo. You love Adolf Hitler. You are the biggest fan of Adolf Hitler. Yeah. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, please don't listen to Hasan. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Listen to me instead. Guy who's wrong all the time, but at least he's wrong in the direction of the American State Department and the American mainstream press. So you don't really understand that he's wrong until things happen like this. And you go, wait, how could I have been so off base with this analysis? Well, maybe you should think long and hard on that.
Trump's belligerent remarks over the weekend have only served to increase anxiety here. And it's entirely unnecessary. The Americans had 10,000 troops here and several bases at the height of the Cold War. And the Danish government and Greenlandic politicians have been completely clear that if the Americans are concerned about the Chinese threat, they could build that force up again. As for the people here in Greenland, well, they are scared. They live a traditional way of life. Now, in the story we're about to show, you're going to see a picture of a seal, which is dead. That is the traditional life here, hunting and fishing. People don't want to lose that way of life.
We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it.
Surely the world's largest island, an autonomous territory within Denmark, and a fine piece of seafront real estate must be on the market for the right price.
Trump says he wants to buy us like we were common. I'm sorry to say that, but I got so angry. I think it's so disrespectful to the Inuit people of Greenland to be treating us this way, to walk in like we are unable.
See, if a liberal administration was overseeing the potential annexation of Greenland, and don't say that that would never happen under a liberal administration, this would be the exact opposite. Okay, U.S. aid-backed, U.S. aid-subsidized NGOs would be on the ground, desperate to find any man to build civil society organizations. This takes time. You can't just come in. You can't just come in and be like, that's it. I'm taking it. Greenland is mine. It's mine. It's not even green. They lied. We're going to take it and we're going to turn it into Whiteland. Why do they call it Greenland? There's no green. It's all white. You can't raw dog imperialism like that. You have to do a delicate touch. You have to be like, these people desperately want to be saved from the colonial occupation of Denmark. We must focus on indigenous rights. We must focus on indigenous sovereignty in Greenland. Indigenous Greenlanders are on the side of American annexation. America will liberate Greenland from the treacherous grips of a Danish colonial occupation. That is how they're supposed to do it. But these guys are so horny that they're basically like, nope, we're taking it. We're taking it. What are you going to do about it? No foreplay, dude. No foreplay.
Educated, unknowing people who are primitive and would fall for whatever flash they were supposed to come with.
And this land has added value Beneath the snow and ice lie 43 of the 50 minerals and metals deemed by the US government critical for modern technology.
They said it bluntly, why they're interested in Greenland, like critical mineral resources and also trading routes that are emerging due to climate change. So Greenland is smack in the middle of it. So it's a very strategic position for business, but also security.
It's not just the fishermen who've noticed the ice melting earlier each year. Russia and China are also increasing their Arctic presence, but only the US has threatened to take Greenland. Seal hunting is a way of life. The boats may be better now, but this is a lifestyle that's passed down through the generations. Change is gradual here.
A combination of fishing, tourism and a subsidy from the Danish government is what keeps Greenland going as it tries to modernise but retain its traditional culture at the same time. Now Greenlanders say they feel caught. They have a complicated relationship with Denmark, the colonial power, and most people I've been speaking to say they see American behaviour as threatening.
Sunday morning, and nothing disturbs the peace in Nuuk. When Danish missionaries brought Christianity to Greenland in the 18th century, they tried to suppress Inuit culture. These days, Greenlanders are free to practice their customs, but even though Greenland has self-rule, some resentment remains.
I was in elementary school. We have segregated classes for Danish people and Greenlandic people. So there was segregation still, especially before all of this happened. Nobody in Denmark, basically, especially in the governments, in the political parties, but also the general sentiment, the majority don't really want to accept they have been a colonial power.
But some say in this crisis it's time to forget the old bitterness.
I trust Denmark because they have ratified treaties in the UN, like the treaties for indigenous people and preserving our culture. And I trust them also because they have always done right by us when they had to. And whenever we have had problems, whenever we had economical problems and such, Denmark has actually come to our aid.
This weekend's annual dog sledding championship was partly funded by the US government, a classic use of soft power. But President Trump has refused to rule out...
The machinations were set in motion far before J.D. Pondon ever came in. That is how the empire operates. That is how the empire operates. Okay? U.S. aid, baby. You got to ease into it. How else can you dominate the entire planet with, again, 800 military bases? 800 military bases not being considered 800 different military invasions is a testament to the soft power capabilities of American empire. And yet, Donald Trump, J.D. Pondon, J.D. Pond freaking Dom, baby, trying to gut that superpower status desperately.
Using hard power. The cannons on a Danish warship in Nuuk Harbour no longer fire. As a member of NATO, Denmark always thought the US would be part of Greenland's defence, while Greenlanders have been aspiring for independence.
We haven't been an independent nation, but we're already tasked with dealing with high-intensive, day-to-day twists of international politics that we have to say something about.
No, it's not time for independence. We don't have the economy for it, and of course we don't have the military for it either. And we never will have a military for that.
Just 57,000 Greenlanders live on a vast snow-covered land. The US could have cooperated with Denmark and Greenland to build up its military presence here back to Cold War levels. But Greenland, like Panama and Canada, is part of Donald Trump's plan to dominate the Western Hemisphere, whether the people who live here like it or not.